today I'm just making a quick video talking about my thoughts after a track event with my Audi Coupe. This is the 1990 Audi Coupe Quattro that I did a 1.8 turbo swap on. You know, and I built up the engine, I put rods in it, and you know, big turbo, and rebuilt the cylinder head, and did a bunch of things like that. And swapped it into this car, made custom motor mounts, did a bunch of stuff. I talked about it in other videos in the past. But yeah, so I took it to the first track event after I did a lot of modifications, and in general I'm pretty happy with the car. I'm just going to go over kind of what I want to do in the future, and before the next track event, hopefully in the spring. There's another track around here called Waterford Hills that's a little bit smaller that I'd like to go and test the car at. So yeah. Alright, so it's probably been a couple of years now. I upgraded the front brakes. The front rotors are off a early Audi S8. The brake calipers are off a Porsche 996. And the rears I did maybe just a month or two ago. The rotors are off of a B7 Audi S4. They're a vented 300mm rotor, and the calipers are off of a B5. And I used a upgrade kit that you'd use for an Audi B5, and I just spaced it out so that the spacing was correct for the rotor, and it actually worked out pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that. And in general, you know, I had to drill out I'm still using the 4x108 pattern here, so I actually had to drill out the rotors, which isn't as bad as it sounds. It's pretty easy to do, and it's centered correctly on the hub at least, so no problem there really. The brake bias in general felt perfect. Under really hard braking, the car didn't do anything funny. It stayed really stable. It was easy to go from braking hard and to push it into a turn. Really happy with the overall handling of the car. I'm not a professional driver or anything like that, so for me, having a little bit of understeer is really nice. It's kind of predictable. You know, obviously if I was a lot more experienced with this, I would probably want to put a big heavy sway bar in the rear, but for my driving style, it felt excellent. Problem I had was, which was kind of a dumb problem. I should have known better, but on the front and rear, I just used some pretty standard brake pads. I just used a Brembo brake pad in the front, and in the back I used Brembo as well, a branded brake pad. And they aren't really up for it. After about 4 laps, they would start to fade. And even though I had good fluid and big rotors and everything like that, I still, after just a few laps, they would just get so hot that my pedal would start getting kind of soft. So not the best. And because of that, I couldn't really test my cooling system and everything else. All my temperatures appeared to be perfect. The car ran great. Super happy with the handling characteristics, but being that I could only do, you know, 3-4 laps before the pedal would get soft and I'd have to bring it in, you know, I couldn't test it as much as I would like to have. But all in all, it was so much fun. These tires are the Firehawk Indy 500 tires. They're about 2 years, maybe actually they're older than that. They're probably 4 or 5 years old now, and pretty good tire. I wouldn't really recommend them for a track tire. This is more of a street tire that you can go out on the track with and have some fun, but it's not very grippy. I had some kind of data acquisition. I used a Draggy data logger that was showing I was pulling about 1.2 G's through the corners, and these things were just screaming, and that's about all I could do. It's a 225. The tread wear on these is I think 340. For some reason I'm not seeing it right now. Yeah, here it is, 340. And yeah, so not very soft. I think I'm gonna, before spring, I already bought some Hawk full race, you know, blue brake pads I'm gonna install before the next track event, and I'm gonna put some stickier tires on it. Some other guys at the track were running different brands, and I kind of took notes, so I'm still trying to decide, but something with a 200 or lesser tread wear is what I'm gonna do. Probably the same size. I like this wheel. It's from a Ford Focus. It's only 7 inches wide, but I can put a 225 on it and it fits pretty good, and I kind of like the style of it, so I'll probably just keep running with that. Yeah, put it on scales, and I was right a little over 2,700 pounds, which is pretty cool. A little lighter than I thought. It took a lot of the weight off the nose with swapping to that 1.8 liter engine, so that was also helpful, and kind of made it so it wasn't as understeery as it would have been, you know, with the BC Racing coilovers. I'm pretty happy with those as well. I kind of left it on a softer setting the entire time, and you know, I probably have to turn it up if I get a stickier tire, but with these tires on the softer setting, it felt just perfect. It didn't have a ton of body roll or anything. It was just felt pretty locked down. So yeah, very happy with it in general. So yeah, I guess that's about it. I mean, as far as things that need to get done right now, brakes, tires, and then I'll go to the next event like that. The dream is to pull this dash out and just redo all of this as well. The dash I've never had out of this car, so it's kind of, the wiring is pretty cobbled up underneath there. Everything under the hood kind of makes sense to me now. It's all pretty organized. I like it. But under the dash, there's a lot of wires that aren't doing anything, and a lot of stuff like that. So I'd like to buy a Haltech power distribution module and rewire the whole thing, the whole car. And then at least I can use the CAN bus to communicate with the Elite 1500 ECU I have, and it'll be really nice and tidy. I don't know if I'll do some, maybe like keep the dashboard but flock it or something, or who knows. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.